And you're going to start noticing that little by little you start picking up on narcissistic traits the longer you're dating a narcissist. The longer you're entangled with a narcissist, the more likely you are to become more like them. It's like being bitten by the vampire. You're not exactly going to turn into Dracula, but you're going to, you're going to be part of the living dead. And you're going to develop a thirst for blood that cannot be quenched. Eventually, you can't stand the daylight. Which, if you think about it, victims of narcissistic abuse tend to isolate, and they stay indoors under the sheets. They don't open the curtains of the window. They don't let the light in, because that depression is horrible. It consumes you. The loneliness that comes after a narcissist discard, the anxiety, the panic. I remember those panic attacks that I would feel the moment I would open my eyes in the morning. And I was like, I'm not getting out of bed. I'm not getting out of bed. I'm just going to stay here where I thought it was safe. Little did I know at the beginning that was the worst thing that I could do, was stay under the covers. Because you close your eyes again. The whole world is out there. The world is out there working, living their life. They're in action. They're moving, right? They're part of society. And you're in bed. It's 9:30 in the morning, under those covers, with the curtains closed. There's no daylight coming in, and you're just there trying to sleep your pain away, trying to sleep your trauma away. And that anxiety creeps up. It consumes you. By the time you get up, you're just drowning in fear. And fear is the path to the dark side. So you start to isolate from people. Those that try to help you, you push away. You lash out at those that try to help you. So people start avoiding you. They start thinking something's wrong. And if the narcissist is doing what they do, which is by that time they're probably smearing your name, and everybody's they're gonna see you. And they're going to say, hey, you know what? That person's right. This person's crazy. What a jerk. And you're just going to fall for the trap, right? And then everything starts spiraling out of control. So you start, you may not be doing this on purpose, but you may start to notice that you're becoming emotionally numb. And when we talk about psychopaths and narcissists, isn't what stands out is that it seems that they have no emotions. It seems that they have no empathy, that they don't feel love, that they don't feel a human. It's like a human emotion. And that's not necessarily true. Of course they have emotions. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen them pissed off many times. But it seems like at some point the narcissist went through something and they made a decision to just not feel anything ever again by just blocking themselves to love, blocking themselves to any affection from anybody, blocking themselves from anything that was real so that they wouldn't get hurt again. That's the whole debate, whether a narcissist is born or if it's a narcissist is made, the whole YouTube University BS. But the victims of narcissistic abuse, as I've experienced in my own life and with survivors in my coaching program, it's like sometimes they just are like, oh, Akira, but what if I just don't allow anybody in anymore and then nobody can hurt me? And I always tell them, well, sure, if you close yourself off to love, then nobody can break your heart. You're right. But nobody can love you either. So you're going to become numb, emotionally numb. You're going to walk around and you're going to lose that zest for life. And I'm here to tell you, that's a horrible way to live. And yeah, if that's the way you live, you're a lot closer to the enemy. You're a lot closer to the monster that put you in the state of mind. Is that what you want? Sure hope not. What a horrible way to go. At that point, you can say, yeah, the narcissist won. They beat you. And I'm the one that always has to remind you guys, no, the narcissist did not win. They did not walk into the sunset with their soulmate and they're going to be happily ever after. That's a bunch of lies. That's a facade. They're going to self-sabotage that situation. They're going to ruin that relationship. They're going to cheat on that person. They're going to destroy it because that's what they did before they met you. That's what they did to you. And that's what they're going to do to the next person, to the next supply. So no, they haven't won because you're still alive. You're still a human being. You're not a narcissist. You actually have human emotion. You actually have empathy. You actually love and care about people. You actually wanted to build a family or something with this person you got entangled with. You actually wanted the best for them. You supported them. You cared for them. You tended to their needs. You listened to them. When they were crying on your shoulder, talking trash about their ex and telling you all these things, telling you their victim story, getting you attached to them, you listened with an open ear and you gave them your heart. And you can do that again. But this time with someone that deserves it, not someone that came to scam you. But what you don't want to do is become like those parasitic predators. You don't want to become like the narcissist that put you in this hell. It's unfortunate. It's kind of like a toxic osmosis or something where through osmosis, you start developing narcissistic traits. You learn how to manipulate people. You learn how to manipulate future relationships, right? Just to ensure that they're not going to screw with you this time. It's kind of like you become cold for the sake of survival. And at first that may sound good. I'm a victim. I'm guilty of that myself. When I first went through that, I remember telling my mentor, hey, I'm reading the 48 Laws of Power. You know, I was the one that said that Robert Greene's work, all of his works are like the Narcissist Bible. And I remember reading those things and getting pissed off. I was like, look, this book is teaching you how to be a narcissist. This book is teaching you how to manipulate, how to gaslight people, how to flip the script, how to get people attached to you and love bomb and then take it away and make them. I was like, this is horrible. How can this thing be so popular? And then I remember one day saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to get really good at this, right? Maybe I need to get really good at this and be just like them. And my mentor's like, no, what are you doing? Don't do that. You know? And those are the things that go through our heads when we're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. We're like, hey, it makes sense. If I can become the psychopath, if I can like kill all my emotions, if I can make sure that nothing enters my heart again and that I don't believe anybody and I don't trust anybody and I'm just going to be numb, then I'm going to be all powerful and no one can hurt me again. And it's like, I mean, you know, how many movies are you guys watching? I mean, do you want to become the villain? Do you want to become a machine? I mean, I know that eventually we're all going to merge with the AI, apparently. That's the way society's going. But I'd rather be part of the resistance than be part of Skynet. I don't know about you. So be careful. Be careful. As you watch videos like this, as this information keeps blowing up, you're going to be watching and learning and intaking a lot of misinformation too. There's some videos out there that teach you how to get your ex back. If there's one of the stupidest things ever, how to get somebody back that didn't want to be with you in the first place. Like, why would you want to get someone back that screwed you over? Why would you get someone like that? Relationship ended. Trying to get something like that back never ends well. It never ends well. You follow that crummy advice and you get them back, you lure them back in, and within a month you lose them. See, nobody tells you that. None of those people that are teaching you how to get your ex back tell you what to do when you finally get them back. Right? Because what happens is you're getting someone back that either screwed you or someone that was screwed by you and has a lot of resentment right now. Okay, and for all we know, one of you guys are narcissistic. One of those people that are trying to get each other back. It might be the narcissist that wants to learn how to get the discarded supply back. All these terms fucking piss me off sometimes, But you got to do it so the algorithm can get the information to the right people. Crazy times we're living in, let me tell you. But yeah, I think it's a universal thing to become emotionally numb. After a while of getting hurt and getting screwed over, you're like, oh, what's the use? Let's just throw in the towel. And I don't know. I've worked with so many people, and I've seen so many people that after all the hard work they've put in, they finally meet someone where it was all worth it. It was worth going through all of this because, see, they thought they knew what real love was. They thought they knew what a healthy relationship was, but they had no idea. They had to taste the worst of the worst. They had to have dinner with Satan. They had to sleep with Satan's daughter, right? Or the Prince of Darkness himself. They had to go through there. They had to go through that hell. So that now they can appreciate the person that God and the universe brought to them. Because now they can see, oh, wait, this is not toxic. This is a normal disagreement. We can work through this. We had a fight. That doesn't mean that they're going to go and hit up 500 DMs, right? This doesn't mean they're going to go on IG and start sending a bunch of messages to all the single women. And this doesn't mean the relationship's over. I mean, come on, guys. That's the trauma that being entangled with a toxic person does. It makes you think that now you can't even have a single disagreement without the fear of being abandoned, without the fear that, that's it. We got into a fight. Now they're just going to walk out that door. They're probably going to cheat on me, and they're going to block me, and they're going to ghost me. Because that's what the narcissist did. But that doesn't mean that the person that you're with now, the new person, right, that's light years healthier than that scumbag that you were with, is going to do the same thing. I mean, is that what you're going to do? Because if that's what you start doing, if the minute you see anything that doesn't go your way, that's it. You're going to condemn them. You're going to block and kick them out. I mean, let me tell you, some people can be so hypervigilant. Some people can be so hypervigilant and overreact, right? And unfollow you right away and start accusing you of being on the Epstein list or some stuff like that. They're quick to jump ship, let me tell you. Quick to jump ship. But I digress. So be careful when you get out of these situations, whether you're discarded or whether you came to your senses and you realized that you were being abused and manipulated and you caught your partner cheating on you and you finally said, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. Like, that's it. You got to go. This relationship is over. Regardless of that, guys, do not give in to the fatal mistake of blocking yourself from love, blocking yourself from feeling something that's real. All right? It's a sad way to live. You don't want to be a miserable person for the rest of your life. It's better to fall in love. It's better to feel love, right? And then discover that, okay, it wasn't real. It was a scam. Well, you know what? It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. I know that's a cliche meme, but not everyone that gets their heart broken, not everyone that gets their heart broken is at the hands of a psychopath, narcissist. We just happen to cross paths with those people. It could have been anybody. But think back to a time. Think back to when you were younger and you had your heart broken in high school or something like that. Chances are you weren't dealing with a narcissist or a psychopath at that time. I had my heart broken many times, and I'm not sitting here saying, oh my God, every girl in my life that did me wrong was a psychopath and everybody but me is healthy. Get the hell out of here. I was just as guilty for a lot of those things. I probably deserved a lot of those things, right? I probably lacked maturity level. There's probably a lot of things that I probably should have done. That's a lot of probablys, but I rather own my shortcomings than just point the finger and blame. It was very, very difficult for me to blame and just put the blame on the narcissists in my life. That's something my mentor would get on my face about, because at the beginning I was like, no, it was my fault. I should have known. I knew she was cheating on me and I put up with it. This is my fault. And to a certain extent, it's like, hey, you know what? I watched it happen. I let it happen, right? I was afraid to put my foot down, so I suffered the consequence. But from his point of view, it's like, hey, you didn't know any better. You thought she was being faithful, even when you were gathering intel. You weren't 100% sure, because that's what misinformation is. You can be 99% sure, but one thing is false and it throws the whole thing off, right? And we would argue, it's like, no, I felt it in my gut. I had the intuition. I knew it. And he's like, dude, if you had the intuition, but you were still second guessing it, it's because you were scammed. This person came into your life and made you believe that they were real, and you were suspecting that they were cheating on you, but at the same time, you were meant to believe that they were loyal, so you weren't sure. When you're a stranger, you can see the whole thing from the outside and be like, hey, oh, look, this is what's happening. But when you're in the relationship, when you're the one being scammed, you don't know, because you have hope for the person. You give the benefit of the doubt to that person. So you're in it, you're being scammed, but at the same time, like, am I really, like, maybe I'm looking too deep into this. And that's why so many people get screwed in this situation, because you're being screwed. Everyone's telling you you're being screwed, and you're like, yeah, but we're married. I met his parents, and his mom calls me all the time, and we have kids together. That's the mother of my children. Like, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, but still, she's still the mother of my kids, and she loves my kids, and I can tell she's a great mom. All this stuff that we tell ourselves. But when you get out, you're like, oh my God, that actually did happen. This person does have this disorder. Holy crap, now it all makes sense. So be careful not to cross over into narcissist territory. Be careful not to become the very same thing. The very same thing that puts you in this state. The very same thing that we rebel against. The very same thing that we're resisting. The very same thing we're trying to expose. Be careful that you don't become one of them. All right? Now, before we go, I want you to check out this video. This is about the unwritten contracts that we end up signing with the narcissist, aka the devil. All right? And you don't even know it. Check that out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.